said, "but you'd be worried about him too if you knew." I took a trembling breath, recalling some of the poetic passages that had accompanied the flowers, all in Sam's handwriting. "Then, Lillian, he calls me every day, just wanting to talk, he says. Now, you know how I hate talking on the telephone when nobody has anything to say. At all hours, too, as if some people aren't already in bed or busy with important matters." I stopped, then went on to tell it all. "And another thing, he drops by to see me without a by or leave or anything, just shows up right out of the blue to see how I'm doing, he says. You noticed that, Lillian. Don't tell me you haven't." "Yes'm, I have. But you and Mr. Sam got so friendly at Miss Binky and Coleman's wedding, I just figured things was picking up." "What things are you talking about?" I demanded, readying myself to refute any assumptions she might have made. "Well, you know, maybe that wedding put you in mind of another one." She came back to the table and started stringing green beans again, as innocent as you please. "My Lord, Lillian, another wedding is the last thing on my mind," I said, throwing another handful of beans in the bowl. "Unless it's Hazel Marie's. Who ever heard of moving in with a man for a trial period, anyway?" "Lots of people, that's who, and it nobody's business but hers," Lillian reminded me, as she often did when she thought I was beginning to meddle. "Now, look like to me all Mr. Sam doing is being nice and friendly." I dropped the beans that were in my hand and covered my face. "Oh, Lillian, it's not only what he says, but the way he says it. I don't know what he means or if he means anything at all." "I expect you figure it out. You put your mind to it." I ignored that because all along I hadn't wanted to delve too deeply into what was behind Sam's unnerving attentions. Once burned, twice shy, you know, and after my previous less than satisfactory experience with a husband, I intended to steer clear of another one. I propped my chin on my hand, my elbow on the table, and put the focus back on Sam where it belonged. "I'm afraid something's wrong with him, Lillian, and that's the truth of the matter. The way he's acting is just not like him. You know how he is. Usually, that is. So polite, so much of a gentleman, courtly even. And now," I lifted my head as a sudden thought came to me, "you know who he reminds me of? Mr. Pickens, that's who. He flirts, Lillian, and says the most outrageous things you've ever heard." "That don't sound so bad to me." "But it's not like Sam. I tell you the truth, I think he's entering his second childhood. He's old, you know." "Not much older than you," Lillian reminded me. I glared at her. "Age affects different people in different ways. You won't catch me wearing cowboy boots and blue jeans and whispering things in somebody's ear." "Wouldn't hurt you to try. Might even do you some good. Seem like to me you be noticing you not getting any younger. I know lots of ladies be real happy to have a well-set-up man like Mr. Sam whispering in their ear. You keep on like you doing, and he gon' turn his eye somewheres else." I blew out my breath in exasperation. "Don't get me started on all the widows in this town who do anything in the world just to get married again. I know how they carry on. Just as soon as somebody's wife dies, there they are, with casseroles and cakes and pies and invitations to dinner. I tell you, they don't know when they're well off." "Let me get these beans on," she said, pushing herself up from the table and carrying the bowl to the stove. "This meat done boiled down enough." "You're not helping me, Lillian. I'm really worried about him. At first I thought he was suffering a midlife crisis, except he's too old. Maybe he's getting senile." "Well, which is it? He in his childhood or his old age?" "I don't know," I said, slumping back in my chair. "And to tell the truth, I don't know which would be worse." A sudden whining and growling began building up from out on the street, and as I jerked upright, the racket seemed to fill the whole room. "What in the world is that?"